My marriage ended not with a fight or a loud scene, but in silence so heavy it drowned everything around it. I remember the day precisely. Laurel came home from brunch in Aspen Hill just before noon, still wearing the green cardigan she had left in that morning. Her hair was untouched, her face composed, but her eyes were distant and empty in a way I had never seen before. She walked past me without a glance, shut herself in the guest room, and from that moment a shift had taken place that I could feel but could not yet explain. The hours that followed were marked by her absence in the same house where I stood with a bag of groceries, frozen in the kitchen as if waiting for thunder to break. She spoke to me only in clipped sentences, her attention fixed on her phone, her presence heavy with something unspoken. That night, she slept, turned away, a body separated not only by space, but by certainty. By the next morning, the distance had already hardened into suspicion, and when she finally revealed what she believed, I understood that my marriage had been poisoned from the outside. The accusation did not come from her own heart, but from the person who had lingered around our lives from the very beginning, Tessa Lynn Vale. Laurel had known her since college, and I had learned quickly that Tessa's influence was not protective, but corrosive. From the first day we met, she treated me not as her friend's partner, but as an obstacle to be undermined. She masked cruelty as humor, slipped barbs into casual remarks, and inserted herself into every stage of our relationship, from engagement planning to the wedding itself. I should have seen the danger more clearly when she demanded a spotlight at the ceremony and strutted down the aisle as if she were the one to be celebrated. My parents' confused glances and my own silent anger should have been enough of a warning, but I ignored it. After we were married, she expanded her presence even further. Every weekend plan included her name, every decision was weighed against her opinion, and every attempt I made to establish boundaries was dismissed as unnecessary tension. When she showed up at our door months later, sobbing with mascara streaks and a duffel bag after being left by her boyfriend, I already knew what would happen. Laurel welcomed her into our home as she always had, and I was left to watch as the guest room became a landfill of clothes, food containers, and perfume-soured air. The living room turned into her stage, the kitchen into her mess, and the entire house into a place where I no longer had a voice. When I raised concerns, I was labeled stressed, controlling, or unkind. The pattern was clear. She played the victim, and Laurel defended her. But the worst was still to come. On an ordinary Saturday, while I was doing nothing more than grocery shopping, Tessa planted the lie that would finish everything. She claimed to have seen me in my car with another woman, kissing in a parking lot. She even described the jacket I wore that day as if accuracy in detail would make the falsehood unshakable. Laurel did not question it, did not ask for my account, did not pause to consider whether the story made sense. Instead, she asked herself why Tessa would ever lie, and in that question was the betrayal. She believed her best friend over her husband, and within days the fracture became permanent. Laurel moved into the guest room, avoided my presence, and eventually left the house altogether. The divorce papers arrived by text message, colder than any argument could have been, as if 6 years together could be reduced to a few short lines. I carried the weight of her silence as friends disappeared, family questioned me, and my name became tarnished by something I had never done. It was not only the lie that hurt, but the ease with which others accepted it. Months later, when I had almost resigned myself to the emptiness, an unexpected message arrived. It was from Delaney Poe, a former roommate of Tessa's, someone I barely remembered, but who had been close enough to witness what others could not. She showed me the truth in the form of messages Tessa had written, boasts about how easily Laurel had been manipulated, gloating about fabricating the story, mocking both of us as if destroying a marriage were a kind of entertainment. The words were cold, deliberate, and impossible to misunderstand. I shared the evidence with Laurel, who collapsed under the weight of realization, begging to rebuild what had already been destroyed. But trust, once shattered, is not something that can be reconstructed by tears or promises. The damage had not only been done by Tessa's lies, but by Laurel's willingness to accept them without question. In that moment, clarity settled over me like a final curtain. The aftermath was predictable. Tessa's social circle collapsed, her job was lost, and her reputation withered under the weight of her own actions. Laurel attempted to repair what she could, even reaching out to Tessa again in some desperate search for closure, only to be humiliated and discarded by the very person she had chosen to believe over me. Their bond, once unbreakable, consumed itself. I left Aspen Hill soon after, choosing a smaller place, quieter streets, and evenings filled not with noise or suspicion, but with silence of my own making. I learned that revenge does not always require action. Sometimes it is enough to walk away, to let lies collapse under their own weight, and to find peace in the knowledge that survival itself can be the most profound answer. In the end, my marriage was not destroyed by distance, temptation, or money. It was destroyed by a lie whispered in the right ear, and by the absence of trust where it should have mattered most. And when the dust settled, I was still standing.